Everybody, well, welcome to those of you who have decided to join us this morning. As I said, we are recording this, so some people will see it on the video later on. But what we thought we'd do today is talk a little bit about, well, we've called it Winter Wonderland Beauty, which sounds extremely exotic and exciting. But we're going to concentrate on the kind of things that you need to be aware of in terms of your skin when it comes to winter time, which we've suddenly been plunged into, and also Sally will show you and demonstrate a nice eye makeup look for winter parties. We know that you love when we demonstrate eye makeup, so we thought we'd do that as well as a way to help you to think about how to glam up a bit if you've got a special event that you're going to go to, or just for Christmas, New Year. Both Sally and I are very dressed up for a Monday morning. At least I feel that I am. In the sense that we've put on something a bit more glamorous. I've got this red, quite cozy jumper on, which I bought in Zara, in fact, but it's a great red on me. It's a nice, cool red. And it's brilliant if you've got one of these sort of like choker collar things, like I've got this Diamante one. I think I bought it in Hobbs several years ago, I have to say, but I've worn it a lot. And it can, really glam up a simple jumper. So I'm nice and warm, but I've got something around my neck that looks a bit less ordinary, let's put it that way. And then I've got several pairs of quite well, diamante, I suppose you'd call them, earrings. So I've chosen some to go with it. But I'm going to start by talking a little bit about what happens to your skin in the wintertime and why and how we need to think about it. Before I do that, I just want to remind all of you that we've got an amazing offer at the moment. We've decided that December should be gifts to you from us, really. So we're giving a lot of free gifts away throughout the month. And we've started with a free gift of our full-size day cream moisturizer, which is called Smooth the Day face cream. And this is completely free if you spend £25 or more. The code is day25, so don't forget that. And it's a phenomenally generous offer. I think our day cream is normally, Amelia can correct me on this, something like £39. So it's a huge offer. But hopefully, if you do get it and you start using our moisturizer, you'll understand why it's so brilliant and so good for your skin. So in the wintertime, there are various things that happen when the temperature drops. I don't know whether you had the kind of temperatures that we had over the weekend. I think on Saturday it went to -2. That was during the daytime here. So it was seriously cold. And of course, you go out and then you come back in again. And if you go out, you go into, as on Saturday, it was -2. And I then came in and I keep my house at about 20 degrees, something like that. So the change in temperature is dramatic and it's sudden. And of course, our skins are affected by that. So if you think about what's happening to your skin when you're outside, the cold, the rain, not the rain, the wind and the effect on your skin is quite dramatic. It tends to strip our skin of all sorts of moisture. And of course, moisture is enormously protective. If you've got poor skin, in the sense that it tends to get red or cracks, or it's subject to any of those nasty things like psoriasis or eczema or stuff like that, that it's going to get a lot worse during the winter time. And it gets worse because of the effect of the weather and the temperature actually on your skin. So, it's tough. It's tough on your skin when you go out into the cold and so on and so forth. When you come into the indoors, you've got the problem that central heating tends to draw moisture out of the air. So you come into an extremely dry atmosphere indoors. And of course, the effect of that on your skin is, as you would expect, that there is less moisture for you to absorb from the elements, if you like, from the air. Now, there are various things that you can do to help yourself. Sally's going to go through all the things that we have, all formulated very specifically with older skin in mind. Don't forget that that's what we do. Everything that we formulate and have available to you as products are there because they are better for older skin, and older skin is more dehydrated and thirstier than younger skin. So what can you do? So the first thing is obviously the skincare that you apply, and Sally's going to talk to you more about that. But the other things that you can do is drink lots of water. Now, don't ever underestimate how useful and important it is to actually drink water to help you to keep your skin moist. I think, gosh, I don't know whether I should mention this or not, but I think there's a tendency as we get older to avoid drinking too much water because we might need the loo, and it can be difficult sometimes if you're somewhere and you need the loo. So don't do that thing of, oh, I don't think I'll have a drink now because I'm going out and I might need the loo. It's really, really important that you keep your you keep drinking water as often as you can during the day. The second thing that I'm going to suggest is that indoors, if your skin is very dry and you do suffer from any skin conditions, think about a humidifier. So humidifiers are brilliant. You simply plug them in. I mean, they're there to create water in the atmosphere. And they can be very, very helpful to keeping your skin in better condition during the winter if you really do suffer from dry, cracked skin. I used to have patches of eczema on my hands. Honestly, I don't know why they started, but they were the size of a sixpence in old money, and I had about 5 or 6 patches on my hands, and they would bleed during the winter time always. And that was because my hands would get really, really dry. So I'd use lots and lots of hand cream and so on. And the eczema disappeared. It disappeared about 2 years ago. Honestly, I don't know why. I wasn't putting anything topical onto them, but it was almost as though I recovered from the eczema for some reason or another. But definitely, I think humidifiers can help with things like that if you've got any kind of cracked or dry skin. No hot showers or baths. I know it's really tempting. If I'm really cold, I think the best thing I can do now is get into a really hot bath and warm myself up. But actually, if you have hot baths and hot showers, you're doing that the blood vessels contracting and dilating and expanding, which is of course what happens when you go out from the cold and come into the warm, and then you get into a hot bath and you actually exacerbate that process, and it's not good for your skin. It will definitely not help. Obviously, I don't need to tell any of you that smoking is extremely bad for the skin and makes it even worse in the winter time. Exercise is helpful. Exercise is always helpful, and one of the good things about exercise is that hopefully if you do exercise a reasonable amount, go out for walks. I'm not saying you shouldn't go outside. You just need to be aware of protecting your skin when you do. But walking, brisk walking and so on and so forth, getting your heart rate up, aerobic exercise is good because then you sleep better. And there's no question that sleep is one of the best things you can do for your skin. It's not called beauty sleep for nothing. And then, of course, sunscreen. And again, Sally will mention that we've now got a wonderful 50+ sunscreen in our range, which I'm so pleased and proud of. Not least because I think my skin, since I've been using the sunscreen, which I've been using it for nearly a year because I've been trialing it, I think my makeup looks better on top of my putting sunscreen on first on my bare skin, and then what I then put on in terms of moisturizing. I think my makeup goes on better. It goes on more smoothly. And as a result, my skin looks even better, which is a big plus for me. So sunscreen is also important, even in the winter, even when we've got dull light like we have today, you still need that kind of protection. So they're my top tips for you in terms of being aware of what happens to the skin during the winter time because of the outdoor and indoor temperature change, and also because it tends to exacerbate any problems that you have with your skin. So I'm going to hand over to Sally now, and she's going to go through some of the ways that she makes sure her skin is in tip-top condition through the winter, and then she's going to demonstrate a wonderful, lovely evening eye makeup look for you. Over to Sally.
Thank you so much, Tricia. Good morning, everybody. Yes, I totally agree with everything Tricia says. And for me, a couple of my winter must-haves that I want to mention if you haven't tried them. For me, my hands get really, really a little bit chapped and cold, and there's nothing worse than dry, chapped hands and fingers. So the hand cream, if you haven't tried our hydrating hand cream. It is fantastic. It's got shea butter, it's got vitamin C, and it's got a rock rose extract. I love the smell. So I think the tip to hand cream is to have it accessible. So I carry one in my handbag, and then I have it by the sink, so that when it's when you wash your hands all the time as well, they go dry. So have more than one if you can in dotted around, and then you will use it. I'm not just saying that to sell them, I promise. It's just a useful thing to remember, otherwise you forget. So for me, hand cream is important. And lips. For me, my lips get very dry, particularly when I don't drink enough water, which Tricia has reminded me. And I do exactly that. I think, oh, particularly before bedtime, do I want to drink before bedtime? I'm quite thirsty, but that whole thing that she mentioned, absolutely true. So the lip balm, again, I play tennis, or I used to until I was injured recently, but that's another story. So if I'm going out for a walk, I do wear our beautiful moisturizing lip balm, which is, you can get the one that is colorless, but I quite like the warm tinted one, which looks scarily orange, but it doesn't come out like it's got a very light sort of, it's a lovely balm, but it's slightly warm. And if you're cooler toned, we have a beautiful sort of pinky one as well for the cool toned ladies. And again, the lip balm has got shea butter. Shea butter is really good in the winter. It's really moisturizing. It's got apricot oil. I love apricot oil. It's got olive oil, sweet almond oil. And if your lips are really dry, put it on thickly. And I've mentioned this before. This is a little soft bamboo baby's toothbrush. And if you've got chapped lips, if you literally do this with a soft toothbrush, it will remove the dead skin, and then you can put even more lip balm on, go to bed, and you'll find in the morning your lips are just so much smoother. So that's a top tip. I even sometimes, if it's really cold outside, I'll do my whole lipstick thing, my lip liner, my lipstick, maybe I'm wearing my all day lipstick, and then I'll actually put a little bit of the tinted lip balm over the top. I know you don't normally do that, but that for me, when it's really cold, actually works really well. So that's a couple of other things. So what I've done this morning, I was telling Tricia, a friend dropped round just before the call, and she sort of looked at me oddly as I'm in my gold lame top and no eye makeup first thing on a Monday morning. I think she thought I'd lost the plot of trying to explain what I was doing. She had no idea what I was doing. So what I've done this morning, talking about skincare, what I did last night, which I would, if I was going to a party the next day, I always use the gentle face exfoliator the night before, because again, it removes dead skin cells so that when you put your makeup on the next day, it will go on so much better. I didn't do this last night, but if I'd had a bit more time, I would have used the hydrating clay mask. Again, it's a clay mask that is particularly for older skin because it's hydrating. A lot of masks are really drying. This one isn't. So I would say, again, it's a nice treat to do before you've got a special occasion. I do that the night before. So I used this last night, and I had a few flaky bits on my nose, and they've completely gone by using this. So what did I do this morning? The first thing I did was to cleanse my face lightly using the cleanser. Even cleaning your skin can make a difference. Some ladies use cleansers that are really very foamy, and they can be drying. So you want a cleanser that is creamy, and our one really is. It's got vitamin E. The more vitamin E you can get onto your skin, the better. It's got prickly pear extract as well, which is really good. So I love using this as a cleanser because I'm hydrated. I can see somebody's lovely dog there. So really nice cleanser. And then I am totally converted. My cat is trying to get in. I'll just ignore her, sorry. Totally converted. I'm converted. Tricia has been mentioning this, and I have been, desperate to try it. If you haven't tried the Daily SPF 50 Plus serum, it genuinely is probably my second favorite product now in the whole range. I use it, so you cleanse your face, pat your face dry, then put this on. So before moisturizer, and my makeup has been going on, as Tricia said just before, so much better with this. I love it. I love the fact that I am protected from UVA and UVB all day, whatever I'm doing, if I'm playing tennis, if I'm going for a walk. And it's important to do it in the winter as much as it is in the summer. So I love this product, absolutely love it. So I put a little bit of that on, and then what I do in the winter, I tend to use a little bit of the Hydration Hold face serum in the morning and the evening. In the summer, I tend to use this more just in the evening, but if it's cold and I feel I need a little bit more hydration, this product has got hyaluronic acid in it, and it's full of hyaluronic acid. It's got 2.5%, which is a moisture magnet. And what that does is it makes your skin retain moisture better. So when you're putting your day cream on, it will make your day cream work better. So it's a really, really fantastic product. You don't need very much. So I put my serum on, let that dry for a couple of seconds. Then this is a pipette, a couple of drops, and just pop that on. And then I use my day cream. I'm quite funny about what type of moisturizer I wear under makeup. I don't want anything that's going to be sticky or feel thick and heavy, but it needs to do its job. And the day cream that we have has got vitamins A, C, E, and F. So absolutely full of goodies. You don't need a massive amount at all of any of the skincare. So less is more. You'll know what your skin needs. So I probably, as my spatula, I don't take that much more than that much really. My whole face. And don't forget your neck and your décolletage when you're putting your day cream and your night cream on. It's really important. So I put that on, and then what I do is wait. So I don't go straight from the moisturizer into my makeup application. I let everything sink in a little bit, and that also means that your makeup will go on better. I think sometimes people pile things on and straight away put their face primer on and their foundation, and it's all just a little bit too much. So take a little bit of time. But the fact that you can get this which is a really, really good product, if you haven't tried it, using the code today, get it for free. It's worth trying. It's lovely. It's a really nice, it's rich, but it's not sticky and heavy, and I hate that feeling underneath makeup. So I did that, and then I waited. I did my teeth, I brushed my teeth, sorted my hair out, got dressed, and just for a few minutes before starting the makeup process. So what is important for I'll do my eyes in a moment, but I'll just tell you what I've put on. I've already put on my Smooth Like Silk Face Prime, which is my personal favorite of all the products. I put that all over, and then I started on my base. So today I have used Continuous Cover Foundation in shade 2 with a tiny bit of Light Look Beauty Balm in shade 1, and then a tiny little squirt of the primer, and I've mixed them all together, and I applied them with this brush. I love this. This is the new foundation brush number 10. So I did that. I also put on my concealer number 2, which I will put a little bit more on later. I'll show you what I do with that. I'm going red under there are lots of lights in this room. I'm getting hotter and hotter. Should have put my green on, but I put some blusher on. I put some powder on first, and then I put my peach cream blusher, put a little bit of bronzer. Haven't done anything to my eyes, other than I have put my primer. I've put my eye prime on, which is essential. Smooth Out Eye Prime, really, really important for an evening eye makeup look. I use it every day, but it's particularly good if you're doing a slightly stronger eye makeup look. You really want your makeup to look professional and not to crease and to last all night. So I put a little bit of that on. Again, no more really than a pinhead size. I put it on my eyelids, and I brought it up to about here, where I'm going to be putting my eyeshadow. So if you just put it here, then you need something there. So I put a little bit there. Otherwise, you're putting eyeshadow directly onto skin. Also important to make sure you've got no oil residue on your eyelids when you're putting this product on. So if you've used an oily eye makeup remover, make sure you take a cotton pad with some just water on and wipe it so that it's dry and clean before you put this product on. It goes on much, much better. And I like to put it on and then blend it with my concealer brush number 4. I sometimes use my fingers as well. Just make sure your fingers are oil free as well, haven't got any kind of residues of maybe your moisturizer on them. I've done my lips already today, and I've used my Never Feather lip prime to stop my lipstick bleeding, and I have used today strawberry lip liner all over, and then I have used the russet. I use russet, look like it, but it looks different under strawberry, but I've used russet long lasting lipstick and a little bit of clear gloss. So I need to do my eyes, so I'm going to put some clips in my hair. You can see a little bit better what I'm doing this way. So I love the party season because it's a chance to have a little bit of fun and maybe try colours that you haven't tried, be a little bit bolder. You're going to be under lights, so you can get away with slightly stronger makeup. But all I would say is practice a little bit, because if you're the sort of lady that wears the soft neutrals eye palette all the time, and then you try and suddenly go for a really strong makeup look, you will probably look at yourself as you're doing it and panic. And you'll go, oh my goodness, I can't possibly, it looks awful. So maybe do it a little bit more gently or practice in advance. And the secret to eye makeup that is a little bit stronger is all in the blending. I haven't done my brows, so I'm actually going to do my brows first. So because I want to show you another product that I love for party season. I use it every day, but the Instant Bright Highlight, which I haven't used today yet, I'm going to put this product, it's a clicky pen, and what I'm going to do is put a little bit, before I do my brows, just under, let me see where I'm putting it, under the highest part of my brows, and then I just use my finger, and it just makes a little bit of light. And I like to do that before my brows so that it doesn't mess up my brows after I've done it. You can do it afterwards, it doesn't really matter when you do it. But I'm also going to put a little bit just onto the top of my cheekbone, which again, for parties, it gives you that lovely look of sort of dewy, shimmery, but without looking as though you're wearing some really shiny highlighter. Like the young girls look gorgeous when they've got lots of highlighter, but it can look a little bit too much, particularly for me. I've got a lot of lines, they're lifelines and smile lines. But if I put something really shiny there, then it's like, whoa, hey, look at me. But this product doesn't do that. I love it. You can just put it there. You can also put it there if you want to, for parties, on your Cupid's bow. So really fun product. I love it because it just brightens everything. Okay, so brows. I'm going to use today Bring Back Brow Shape in the shade brown. And the first thing I'm going to do is to take my spoolie brush and just groom my brows a little bit into shape. And if you've got no brows at all, it's really good to put your brows on before you do your eye makeup, because then you've got your frame and you know then where to place your eyeshadow. So this product is, as you can see, it's a little paintbrush. And again, it's the product that you need to practice with. Once you've got it, it's so easy, but it can be a little bit scary the first time you use it. So shake it, take a little bit off. With the dark brown, I like to just take off a little bit of the excess on my hand. And then what you want to do is, that's your sort of starting point for brows. That's your end point. So the corner of your nose, corner of your eye, you can see I kind of need to add a little bit to my brow. And then the highest point, if you take it through just through the sort of center into the side, that should be the highest point of your brow. So you can either just do little dots if you've got no brows and then join them up, or I'm just going to today just very quickly fill in my gaps. I tend to start in the middle, and little feathery strokes, bringing it down a little bit. If you've got hooded eyes, you might want to even lift your brow a little bit, fraction higher than your natural hair, which can just give the extra ½ millimeter of height. So little, I'm using my little finger to just sort of rest so that I've got a bit of stability. You see I'm doing upward strokes for the middle brows, and you can see there's a little gap there. It's really hard to do this in the screen, but you just sort of see I'm just filling in. And that one now looks a little bit darker without looking scary. I'll do the other one and then I'll blend them. So again, start in the middle. You don't have to start in the middle, start where you feel comfortable. I like to start in the middle because then I haven't got so much on the brush. Sometimes if I start here, I've got more on the brush, it looks a little bit heavy. So it is a paint and it's waterproof. So even if you get hot, you can see that you can just taper that last little bit. So it really looks like individual hairs, which you can't get this effect with a pencil. You can only get this effect with a very fine brush like this. So it's quite a unique product that once you've used it and tried it, you'll think, wow. And if you've got lighter brows, we do one in blonde. And if you've got sort of grey colour, we do one in grey. So there are 3 shades to this product, and it's just very clever. And then what I do is take that spoolie brush again, and this is the secret to this product, is to then soften it. And if you think it's gone on and it's too strong and it looks a little bit artificial, you shouldn't do if you've done it correctly, but just doing this will soften the whole effect and make them just look like it's your natural brows. So really important to define your brows under lights when you're out in the evening. Now I'm going to use all over the shade which is taupe, however you say it. This is the product. You can either get it singly or it comes, if you've got the soft neutral palette, it is the darkest colour in that. If you've got our lovely everyday makeup palette, it is in the warm one. That is the shade you get. So I'm going to take my eyeshadow brush number 7, and it's a non-shimmer eye shade, which again is really flattering to older eyes. And I'm going to put it all over my eye. Now I'm bringing it to where I put my eye primer, which was just above that socket line. I was talking to a lady the other day who said, oh, I never ever use brushes, I just use my finger. And I said, oh, really? She said, oh, I can't be bothered, brushes take so long. And I tried to convert her. I said, it's so much quicker with a brush and it's so much easier, and you're not transferring oils onto your eye and you don't have mucky fingers at the end of it. I mean, why wouldn't you? So and she actually said, oh, you're right, Sally. It's just doing it, isn't it? And it is. It's just once you've used brushes for your eye makeup, you will think, how did I do this with my fingers? Why did I do it with my fingers? So this is a great brush because it's kind of big, but it's soft. And I've said this before, when you're putting your base color on, you need to put enough on so that when you're putting any other colors on, there is a base to adhere to. If you just put it dotted on a bit, it'll look patchy, and you need it to be strong enough. Particularly, I'm going for a reasonably strong color today. And you notice I'm not bringing it too far down my eye. I've got that sort of boundary here, and I don't go beyond that. If you've got a more hooded eye, again, keep everything reasonably vertical because that will lift everything. We want everything lifted at this stage. The whole body, everything needs to be lifted. So bringing it on, really, really blending it well, because that's the first base color. It's a really good color for anybody. It's a sort of neutral color taupe, although it's warm or neutral. I've got blue eyes, but it will equally suit somebody with brown eyes, green eyes. So you can see I've just got a base, a wash of taupe. I could stick with that and just go for eyeliner and mascara, and that would be a really quick look, but I'm going to just show you another effect now. So what I'm going to do is get my smaller brush. This is again another new brush that we've got, which is brush number 9. And I'm going to take chocolate. So again, I'm warm toned, so I like chocolate, but I know even Tricia can sometimes wears chocolate, because our chocolate is, you can see it, it's actually a brown, but it's got that hint of purple in it. It's a really unusual colour, so it will even suit you if you are cooler toned. So what I'm going to do, it's not a sort of a, it's not a yellowy brown, it's really pretty. I'm taking a little bit out. Now, when I was younger, I didn't have these lines here, because I am quite, I gesticulate a lot. I have got, I call them my smile lines, and I'm very proud of them, but they're a bit annoying when I'm trying to put on a darker colour, because I used to be able to just do this and it would go on beautifully, smoothly, no problem. I now find that if I just do that, it's a little bit wobbly because there are lines. So first of all, if you have that problem yourself, putting on the eye prime, definitely, that's why I put it there, does help, because you're putting a product on that smooths out. There are 3 things you can do to help this. You can either create a template with a cotton pad to create, what I want to do is create a sort of a shape, try and do it here. And just by having that template, it somehow makes everything go on more smoothly. What I have started doing is actually slightly stretching my eye as well. That's the second thing. Or, I'm just giving you 3 ways. I've mentioned this before. Eyelash curlers. Another template. If you've got eyelash curlers, it's just a way of having some, so you know where to put that line. So you're, and this is where it look, oh my gosh, really scary, but it will look scary because I'm putting on a dark colour quite high, and you do need to put it a little bit higher, because when you blend it, you want to be able to see that colour. Yeah, that looks like, oh my goodness, really strong, but I want to do that to start with before I blend it. So let's do the other side. So I'm going to hold up my cotton on this side and just bring it in a sort of, it's like a slightly curvy, just on and above the socket line. Let's see where it is. It's not quite as strong as that side because I didn't put in them. I might have to blend that out a bit. And then what I like to do is get my eyelash curlers, put a tiny bit more on. I do love this colour chocolate. If you are cool toned and want to do a similar effect but without these colours, then I would suggest pewter grey all over where I put the taupe, and then either midnight blue or charcoal. So I'm bringing it down. Again, you might think, my goodness, Sally, what have you done? Looks very strong. And it's quite high. But you'll see in a moment, when I take my first brush again, this is where it's important to blend, really important. So what I'm going to do is very firm, very short blending action out to in, because if I go in to out, I will drag it around my face, and I don't want to do that. I want to keep it all quite upright. And then I'm just I blend it in exactly the same way that I put it on, but what you're doing with this brush is melting one colour into another, and it makes all the difference. You can, the darker the colour, the more you need to blend. That's the secret to a sort of an evening eye look. I'm going to just take a little bit of that corner. See, you can see the difference already between that eye and that eye. And bearing in mind, I still have got no eyeliner on, and no mascara. So it will look eyeshadow heavy and scary. So don't panic. And that's why this is important, maybe to do this in advance, to practice with a color that you feel comfortable with, so you get the positioning right. Then you can go for a dark color like charcoal, like chocolate, like aubergine, like forest green, midnight blue. Any of those will work really well for an evening look. So you can see I'm really, really blending that well. Because I'm doing it out to in, I'm not dragging the eye. You don't want to drag the skin of the eye too much. It's much, much thinner than anywhere else. So just, it's already, you can see the difference. It just diffuses the color. But if you don't place enough on to start with, you won't be able to get that effect. So that's why putting it on in the right place with a smaller brush makes all the difference. Okay, now I'm going to define my eyes. I look very weird without eyeliner on. I am going to use the dark brown soft eyeliner today. And if you were using the charcoal or the midnight blue, if you're using the charcoal, I'd probably go for the soft grey. If you're using the midnight blue, I would maybe go for navy. That would work really well too. So I'm going to do the top. And again, what I like to do is go to my last lash. I've got quite small lashes, they're not very long. Last lash. And I like to start slightly upwards. So I'm creating a bit of a wedge effect here. And then little short strokes as close to the edge of my lashes. And what I like to do is taper it so that it gets a little bit thinner as I get towards the middle. And this will just make your lashes look, you can see my lashes look thicker on that side. Without it, these are so soft, they're so easy to use, and they're brilliant. They're just gentle but effective. I know that they, since launching them, Look Fabulous Forever, have really done well. People really love them. This eye I struggle with, so I always have to hold my eye, otherwise I can't get the smoothness. I can't keep that one open. So again, I'll get to the last lash, lift it up. They're retractable, so you can just get a little bit out. And even if you can't see very well, I have to have a magnifying mirror, and I couldn't do my eyeliner without my magnifying mirror, particularly if I'm going out in the evening. It's really important that you can see what you're doing when you put your makeup on. So even if it's not perfect, it doesn't matter, because I'm going to soften it. So if the line that you make, you just think, oh my goodness, this is awful. A little tip is to take a cotton bud afterwards, maybe take a tiny bit of your foundation and just wipe off if you make it wobbly, and then maybe go over it with a little bit more of your eyeshadow, and that will just get rid of anything. The secret is to go as close to those lashes as you can so you don't get a gap. What I like to do is I'm going to put a little bit underneath. You might not want to use the dark color underneath. You might want to go for something like warm taupe underneath, but I am today going to go for it because I'm going to my party, my pretend party at lunchtime. So I'm going to start on the outer edge again and bring it in little short strokes. What I like to do is taper it again. You can bring it all the way across if you want to. My eyes are a tiny bit closer together than other people's eyes, tiny bit. So I tend not to bring my eyeliner all the way across, but you can. And if your eyes are slightly wider set on your face, then I would definitely bring the eyeliner all the way across. Makeup is just an illusion, and you can use the eye makeup placement to create width, to change the shape of your eyes. So out to in, and I like to bring the bottom up a little bit to meet the top. And underneath again, little short strokes. It's much easier doing the underneath because obviously you can keep your eyes open and you can see what you're doing. So little short strokes, bringing it in, and bring the bottom up to meet the top. Now, what I like to do always is to set my eyeliner. That makes such a difference because putting eyeliner on starts to balance the whole effect of the eyeshadow, which obviously it's quite eyeshadow heavy because I've gone for quite a dark colour. So I feel personally that if you're going to put a darker colour eyeshadow on, even if you don't want to use one of the eyeliners, if you just don't like eyeliners, what I would do is to go over that area with our brilliant wedge brush number 8, this one. So I'm going to take the chocolate again that I used earlier, just take a little bit onto my brush. What I like to do is just take the excess off on the sides, and then I'll just do exactly what I did with the eyeliner with this brush, with the pointy bit at the outer edge. So I'm pressing it into the base of my lashes. So before we had the eyeliners, this is basically what we used as eyeliner, and you can do it on its own, or like I'm doing, actually over the eyeliner. I love to do it over the eyeliner because it does two things. It softens the effect slightly and it sets it in place. Because you're putting a powder onto an eyeliner, it will just, if you get hot on the dance floor at your party, it will just keep it really, really well in place. If you find that you struggle with eyeliner movement underneath, put a tiny bit of your eye prime, actually a teeny bit underneath, and that will also help to keep it in place. But these are really good if you just set them. You can see that has softened that look. Let's just do the other side. And if it's just so easy to use. This brush is just the best brush to do this with. So you're just softening the effect and setting it. And even if you can't really see what you're doing, you can sort of do it by feel, to be honest. It's quite easy to get to the base of the lashes. So we've done that. Okay. Now you can see it's just lifted. You can see where I've done it. Lifted very slightly at those outer edges, which helps to lift the whole eye up. Now, because it's a party, we talk about glitter and not wearing glitter when you are older. Well, there's glitter and there's glitter. I probably would never wear a completely glittery, because some of the eyeshadows you get and they fall everywhere and they go everywhere. I wouldn't wear one of those all over my eyes because I've got all these fine lines and it will just show too much. But we have a product called Sheer Brilliance Lid Colour in gold, golden mist, we've got silver mist, and we've got one that's green called soft moss. And because I'm wearing my gold top, I thought I would just demonstrate where I wear it. Now, what I would never do is wear it here, because that is where I want to push back my sort of hoodedness. I wouldn't want to put a very shiny bit there. You can put it in various places, and you can just use it if you want to on the inner V, this sort of bit here, just to see that bit of gold. So it's quite a sticky product, so you don't need very much, but I love it for evening. So you could just do that if you want to. You can bring it a little bit further in and put it on your sort of middle bit, inner third of the eye. And I like to do it at this stage before I finish off with my mascara, but when I've done my eyeshadow. So you can do that. And what I like to do is just take a little bit, take my concealer brush and just tap it a little bit and it can dry. So it just kind of creates that little bit of light. If you want to, you can also put it in the middle. That's what I sometimes do. I probably won't do that today, but you can put a little bit in the center of your eye just to reflect and pop that forward too. If you think that you don't want to sort of dark, I wanted that sort of darkish look today, but if you don't want that, it's really nice to put in the center. And if you're wearing the charcoal and the midnight blue, then the silver mist one is really pretty. It's just a lovely product to use, but you don't need very much, and it is a little bit sticky, so it's just a bit of practice using it, but it's very pretty for an evening look. Lashes are essential for me, and when I put my mascara on, everything starts to come together. I am a firm believer in eyelash curlers for an evening look, so I love to curl my lashes. Again, looks scarier than it is, so I'm just going to put the cash curler onto the base of the lashes, and I'm blinking down and lifting it up. And you can already see that those lashes are lifted a bit more. It's just taking your time doing this and not panicking and not catching. If you do it slowly, you won't catch your skin. I think that's the fear with these. You can do them in two places. You can do it at the base, and then you can do it halfway up, which will curl them even more. You can also blast your eyelash curlers with a hairdryer to make them warm, not too hot, you don't want to burn your eye, but if you make them slightly warmer, it's like when you curl your hair. It's exactly the same principle. So that's another, if you find that your lashes don't curl, try heating them very slightly. And I do like to use a waterproof mascara for a party, because sometimes I get hot, I just want to make sure that nothing is going to budge. So I like to use the Live Lash waterproof mascara in black. And again, with mascara, you can actually change the way that your lashes are in the way that you apply your mascara. You can, if you do it that way, your lashes will actually move slightly outwards, which will make your eyes look more almond shaped. So if you slightly move the mascara wand outwards, the lashes will move with it. So play around with your mascara wand. You can, it's amazing what you can do. If you do it inward, they'll sort of go inwards. So with mascara, again, for an evening look, I love to build it up in layers and wiggle. I'm sort of blinking down onto the brush and then wiggling it through, so that you get right to the base of the lashes, which will just help the whole look that you've achieved with your eyeliner or with your darker shadow and your wedge brush. And the mascara is beautiful. It doesn't have bits in it, so it won't make your lashes look unnatural or spiky or unpliable. It's just a really nice product that still looks natural but just darkens them without looking clumpy, which can actually look really just unnatural, I think. So you want your lashes to look like yours but thicker and darker. If you blob, again with mascara, what I do is same thing, take a cotton bud, a little bit of foundation, and just go in to take away any little blobs that you might have on the bottom or the top. So we're nearly there with the eyes. Just keep building it as much as you want. Take your time doing this, because it's counterproductive if you try and go quickly with mascara, because you will sneeze, you will blob, and then you'll spend more time removing the problem. So you don't have to put any on the bottom if you've used eyeliner or the effective eyeliner with an eyeshadow, but if you want to, I tend to just go downwards. You can do it that way, but I find if I do it like that, I tend to crisscross them a little bit too much, which I don't want, so I tend to just do it like that. But you want to get to those outer corner ones if you're doing the bottom. So so if my friend comes to the door now, at least I'm going to look more balanced. She'll still wonder why I've got a gold top on a Monday morning, but at least I've got my eyes on, because I look very different with no eye makeup on. What I do at this stage is I get my concealer again, my concealer number 2, and I think, okay, let's just make sure that there's no little blobs, a little bit more on that inner corner here where it's a little bit bluey. So I don't always put quite as much concealer on if I'm going to do a heavy eye makeup look or a stronger look. I maybe put a little bit less concealer on at the beginning so that at the end, I'm not going to, again, put much more on, but it will just clean everything up and make everything look really good. And then if you have got a clean brush like this, I take a little bit of translucent powder and just do that just to keep the concealer in place. And then the last thing I do is a last blend of everything now that I've finished, just to make sure that that's a much stronger look. Let me just take my hair clips out and hopefully in my hair it will look like I'm ready for the party that I'm going to go to. I have to find a party to go to this afternoon now. So I hope you found that helpful. It's just practicing and using the brushes to blend really well for party makeup and using the primers. So I'll hand back to Tricia now. So I hope that was helpful.
It was brilliant, Sally. Thank you so much. Watching that, I think one of the most important lessons that we can ever teach you when it comes to going out with a really sophisticated, finished, elegant look with your makeup, which is what we're all aiming to get, especially if we're going to a special event, is take time. Take time, be patient, and give yourself the permission to actually indulge yourself with this gift of time. Because if you do that, the difference for me, if I do a quick makeup, because I really am in a hurry, or I do a slow makeup where I take time, but I also take pleasure in doing what I'm doing, the difference is phenomenal. And if you do have, I have the great privilege and pleasure every year. As many of you know, it's my birthday on Christmas Day, so it gets a bit forgotten. So the Saturday before Christmas, my lovely family take me out for a very special meal in a local restaurant that I love, and I take an enormous amount of time and trouble over my makeup that night because it's my one night of the year. It's my birthday night, and I want to look my very special best. And I just get so much pleasure out of it. And part for me, for the evening, part of the pleasure is in the preparation, is in thinking about what I'm going to wear, thinking about how I'm going to do my makeup, and then it's ridiculous. It sounds incredibly vain, but it just is something that really, really gives me pleasure. And as I said, because my Christmas my birthday's on Christmas Day, so I don't have another special day during the year. It is my special day, so I give myself the gift of time and take pleasure in doing it. I know there are a couple of questions which we will get to, just about the makeup that I've done this morning. Let me just slightly change my screen. I've also gone to town a bit on my eyes, but the colours that I've used are pewter and midnight blue. And I've done that trick that Sally did. I love that trick of using a pad, but I've covered up. So I put primer on my eyelid and then didn't put any other color on. I just used the pewter in the outer bit here and allowed the primer to be the sort of lighter bit in there. And then I used the midnight blue along my lash line and then used black mascara. And I quite like that effect on me. I think it works really well. Remember that Sally and I are, I think we worked out the other day, we're about 16 years apart in terms of age. And it's a really important thing to say because, Sally is 16 years younger than me. And the older you get, the changes to your eyes and the way that the shape and so on and so forth. So that what Sally's done this morning looks brilliant on her. And certainly if you are nearer to 60 than you are to 70, and I'm near Christmas Day, I should be 76. How did that happen? So you have to just think about it in terms of what your eyes can cope with. But I like that effect. I think it really works well. Sally mentioned when she was talking about the everyday makeup palette. I just want to remind you about this. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. because it's a lovely gifting idea. If you've got a friend and you want to really impress them, it comes with this outer case thing, and then you've got the palette in, it comes out like that. And then in here, you've got a lovely mirror, which is brilliant, actually, because it's a very good sized mirror. And for the warm colours, you've got taupe and peach cream. You've got taupe eyeshadow, which is what Sally demonstrated on her eyelids. And you've got peach cream for the blush. And then you've got soft coral lipstick. And it comes with a lovely little brush. So it's a fantastic, and it just feels like, I love the feel of these things. It just feels gorgeous. So if you wanted to drop a heavy hint to somebody that you'd like one of these, perhaps you're traveling, they're great to put in your case if you're going away for the weekend, because you don't have to take loads and loads of makeup with you. You've got 3 important items in here. So you know, if you're traveling, or you want to give that gift to a friend, perhaps as a nice present. And then you've got the cool tone one, which has got the 3 colors of, I just put the cool tone one in the warm tone case thing. That was very stupid of me, wasn't it? Yeah, so it's the warm. So pewter grey, which is what I'm wearing today on my eyelids, rosy glow for the blush, and then lovely soft plum, which is, you know, it's like an everyday go-to colour. Today I'm wearing cherry red, because cherry red goes really well with my jumper, and works well for a sort of slightly more ramped up, glamorous look. Thank you so much for coming along. Thank you for being with us for the last hour. We really always love having your company, and it certainly brightens up my Monday morning when we're doing these Magic Makeup Mondays. Sorry we cancelled the last one. I was on a train at the time. I should have been on the screen with you, and we thought of other ways around it, but it just wasn't going to work, so we decided to cancel it. So I'm sorry about that, but anyway, we've done the one today. Hope that was helpful. Have a wonderful, wonderful, I think I'm supposed to say holiday season now, but I'm going to say Christmas and New Year. And don't forget the offer, which the code is day25, and you get a free moisturizer. And if you haven't tried our moisturizer, it's an opportunity to do so, because I think once you've tried it, you'll love it, because I love it. Thanks again to Sally for your help and support this morning. Always great to see you. I can't tell you how much pressure Sally takes off me by doing that demo, and watching it, she makes it look so easy, and I promise you that's not an easy thing to do live to a live audience. So thank you, Sally, for that. And thank you to Amelia for being our director of operations. Really good. And as I said, really happy Christmas and New Year to all of you. And we'll see you in January. Oh my goodness, where is the time going? But anyway, that's all for today. And bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.